Local news that matters on Local 44 News.
At this place in history, we're in East Poultney with Steve Perkins, the executive director of the Vermont Historical Society. Now, Steve, what brings us here this week?
So, Mike, we're going to be talking about Jeffrey Brace. Now, Jeffrey Brace was an amazing individual who lived a fraught but very fruitful life. He was kidnapped from Africa as a young man, enslaved in Barbados, and then later in Connecticut. He fought in the French and Indian War, then the American Revolution. Freed, lived as a free man in Vermont, and lived long enough to tell his story.
He was blind at the time. He entitled it The Blind African Slave, or Memoirs of Boireru Grinch, nicknamed Jeffrey Brace. And the story was told by Brace to a young lawyer in St. Albans. This is an insanely rare book at this point.
Solomon Northup, who a lot of us might have become familiar with about a decade ago from the screen version of his memoir, 12 Years a Slave. This predated Solomon Northup's own autobiography by many decades, actually.
Jeffrey Brace was taken as a teenager, so he remembers his time in Africa. He remembers some of his language that he learned growing up. As far as scholars can tell, based on the book, he probably was taken someplace in the area of modern-day Mali, was sold to a ship's captain named Isaac Mills, and Isaac Mills ended up using him as a soldier sailor, and he fought in the French and Indian War on the British side and ended up joining the American Revolution. And he fought on the side of the ultimate victors, you know, the colonists, and that service resulted in his manumission. And he made his way to Vermont, which was a place where one could get land, relatively uninhabited, and he bought a piece of land right here in Poultney. He married when he got here. They had problems here in Poultney over time with neighbors who didn't like having black neighbors, and one of them in particular would tap his maple trees, put cattle on his land, and in his words, even tried to take his children.
For anybody that may be interested in perhaps learning more about Jeffrey Brace beyond what they might encounter in The Blind African Slave, what, if anything, might all of you at the Vermont Historical Society perhaps be able to point people to?
Absolutely. So go to the Vermont Historical Society, vermonthistory.org, and our curriculum support site, Vermont History Explorer, that has a page on Jeffrey Brace. Both websites do, and both have further resources. But there is a modern version of it now. It has been transcribed, so you can find it. You can buy a book by Kari Winter with an excellent essay and introduction